Hello and welcome. In this video I want to talk about the importance of meaning and why we actually should and we have to construct our own meaning by ourselves in order to benefit from whatever meaning brings into our life. The first important point to understand about meaning is that it is the basis of what gives us motivation to do things in life. Because we are different from animals who are just going out there and all of their actions are just motivated by the act of finding food, of gathering energy. But with us humans it's different. We are doing a lot of things that are only very indirectly supporting our survival. We are going to work that's not really connected to finding food. We are working on different projects that are really not anything like surviving. And so meaning is something that is giving us the neurological energy to pursue certain goals. And that's why having a strong meaning in our life is important in order to strive for all of these different goals. And what are the benefits of a meaningful life? What comes into play here is really health on many different levels. A meaningful life is supportive of a longer, more healthful lifespan that has been shown in different studies, and it is also conducive to having more fulfilling and more well-rounded relationships. When we have meaning in our lives, other people see that. We can share this meaning and people are hungry for meaning, and so if we bring something into the relationship, they are thankful for that if it's something meaningful. And then also meaning gives us a deep sense of purpose and direction in life. If we lack meaning, those two things also don't come easily to us. And then as a whole picture, this leads into a state of lower rates of depression and just more contentment with what we are doing, because it is infused with this feeling of direction that gives a purpose to our life. And that's what meaning can do for us. These are the benefits of it. And so now you may ask the question, if meaning is so great, how can I find greater meaning in my life? And here the answer is really, you cannot really find it. Most people think that meaning is something you can find out there in the world, but really it is something that is completely constructed by our own mind. And whether we know that or we don't makes a big difference, because when we don't know that, we think meaning is something we can acquire in the outside world, and usually what happens is we adopt some kind of meaning from our society, from our family, from our friends. And so really knowing that meaning is actually something self-constructed gives a lot of power into our own hands. And in order to find meaning in more situations in life and get that feeling more often, I think we need to open ourselves up to see meaning even in the smaller things. Because what I noticed today is when you go on the internet or you see how different people live their grand lives, you see it on the media, in the news, like all of these success stories, then you can easily get the feeling you only will have meaning in your life if you do something similarly great, if you achieve some really big goal of maybe running your own business or saving some big part of the world from some disaster or something like that, where you always subconsciously compare yourself to these big achievements of other people. And I really think that's not the best strategy. A better strategy is actually to look at your own life that you experience right now apart from all of these grand stories, and see, when you go for a walk in nature maybe, how is that meaningful? to you in that very moment. And then you can really focus on all of the beauty around you, and you can work on opening yourself up to experience the full spectrum of what actually your life is in that moment and see that as meaningful. I invite you to really try that out and find meaning in the small things in life. That's one strategy. Don't compare yourself to others. Meaning in your own life can really come from what your personal experience, what your relationships are like, and not what maybe some other person is striving towards. Even if there are many people out there that will seemingly have greater goals and achieve much more than you do, but that is their life, that is their meaning. They derive meaning from that. You don't have to do the same things in order to have a meaningful life. A great sense of meaning can also come from when you share your meaning with others, when you are able to feel meaning in your life, fulfill what you do with meaning, and then surround yourself with people and share your vision with other people and let them be part of your vision. That will, many people will be thankful for that, because as I said in the beginning, many people think that meaning will come to them from the outside. This will infuse your own life and your own path with more meaning, because we are social animals. We like to share what we are doing, and if you feel that you can inspire others to be part of your mission or your goals that infuse your life with meaning, then this will accelerate your own path towards this meaningful life. Where can we actually find meaning? And this is really in 3 different areas. And the first area is to be creative. You can create meaning through what you bring into the world with your own imagination, with your own hands, with what you do. If you see some problem out there where you see people are struggling with something, and you come up with your own solution for that problem and you bring it into the world, you create something new, then really this can give great meaning to your life. And it doesn't have to be a problem that you solve. It can also be just some beautiful experience you create for yourself or for others. And so this creative process of reacting to the world in a positive manner with a sense of being able to add something to the world, this can give great meaning to your life. And then also you can create and give meaning to your life from the experience that you're having. This can be on a very shallow level with something like watching a movie, but really being engaged in the story for 1 or 2 hours and infuse that activity that you are doing with meaning, like giving it all of your attention in that very moment. Even if you know it's not like a meaningful thing to do in the grand scheme of your whole life, but you can still have that feeling of this is a worthwhile activity, of that it is something meaningful if you focus on the activity in the moment. So that could be art, nature, culture, entertainment, games, movies, books, or even meditation. The point here is just to experience the present moment with full attention, and that will already give it meaning. Because only when you have this grand vision for your life, where you think everything has to have a greater purpose, only then do the small activities lose some of their inherent meaning. They are inherently meaningful by what they provide as an experience. So they don't have to always be part of something greater that you imagine for yourself. And that really comes down to being present in the moment and not let yourself be distracted by some other vision you may have for yourself. And the third thing is, and that is very important because we all will experience suffering at one point or another, and that is the attitude that we have towards suffering. You can find a lot of meaning in your attitude towards your suffering. And this attitude is like creating some kind of meaning in and of itself. Because when we experience suffering, we can have meaning, or we can feel meaning in that if we trick ourselves to create a story around that suffering. I mean, if you're in a situation where you're suffering, it doesn't help to create a story around that suffering that will only make it worse. Instead, what you can also do is you can say, okay, this is happening to me right now, it's inevitable, but how can I, in my mind, create a framework around the situation that will make it more bearable? And usually what that entails is giving it some kind of greater meaning. And this is really something that can help you in those moments where it feels really difficult, where you can, through a meaningful story, pull yourself a little bit out of that situation, distance yourself, get your whole capacity to think clearly back, come out of those difficult situations with more ease and not internally suffer so much. That will, I think, greatly help in those times when we will experience suffering. So meaning can help there as well. And the next point I want to touch upon is why I think meaning, or striving towards meaning, is a better goal than to strive towards happiness. Usually when we want to have meaning, it's only a means to an end. And we say that end is happiness. But if you just strive for happiness alone, you will be on something that's called the hedonic treadmill. Your mind will get accustomed to ever greater pleasures, like having a simple apartment, a roof over your head, something similar, something simple like that will not be enough anymore for you if you're on that hedonic treadmill. If you improve your life constantly and you think this next improvement in your outer circumstances will make you happy, not much time will go by and you will be adjusted to that new level. That new higher level is your new normal, and on that higher level you actually don't feel any happier than you did when you had less. And so you always strive for more happiness, that next pleasurable thing, that next nice meal, that next extravagant trip to some exotic place. But you will always find yourself back at baseline. But that new baseline comes with a downside, and that downside is that it's more expensive and it requires more effort for you to maintain that higher level where you actually don't feel any happier. And so I go for minimalism. I actually go in the opposite direction. I try to reduce what I need in order to feel this baseline level of happiness. And so that's on the happiness side of things. But why is now meaning a greater goal than happiness? It is because you are experiencing happy moments unexpectedly more often when you pursue something meaningful. Of course, this will not make you lastingly happy, but that's not possible. Our mind always adjusts to bring us back to baseline. But if we strive for happiness and when we strive for meaning and take happiness out of the picture, happiness will actually come to us in unexpected ways. Meaning is just a way that we can use to develop our character. Developing our character has the positive side effect of increasing our capacity to feel joy in many different things, in many unexpected ways. And this will bring us to a point where we can really focus all of our energy towards one specific goal. And that goal will always challenge us a little bit, because we as humans want to grow personally. So if we are consciously putting ourselves on that path to personal development, to the development of our character, we will strive for challenging goals that infuse us with meaning and give us a sense of purpose, direction in life, and as a byproduct, more happiness.